Good morning, and it's been a little while. I'm out here on a Saturday morning. I have come to the place where I was last. It was a while ago. I took a few weekends off. We had a lot of heavy snow last weekend. Pretty much, we were stuck between two snowstorms where it was like, you're going to get a foot of snow on Friday. Saturday it'll let up for a little bit in the afternoon, and then Saturday night into evening, Sunday, like throughout the entire weekend, you're going to get another foot of snow. So we had quite a bit of snow back to back. And I built computers the previous weekend. But I've come back out to the last place that I was and where I last saw birds, the park that I was at a few weeks ago, or a month ago. Anyway, what I did do differently was I found where I could drive to another part, because I've been to this place. This will be the third time, I think. And the other times that I've come to, I've parked where there is parking, and you walk at one end and you start and you go all the way across. Eventually you get to a bridge, and I've shot on that bridge, and I did some landscape of the river back when you could see it. But that bridge connects you to another area where I have now discovered I can park. So I'm going to start there because that's further into the park, a lot more trees and wooded area, so maybe we'll start out a little bit sooner. Seeing stuff, we shall see. Sun's starting to finally come up, so time to get going. See what we can see. I'm back in the car. Wait. There we go. I'm back in the car, and right around me is a magpie. Like, oh, there it goes. Taking off. Flying that way up into the tree. Be back in a minute, I'm sure. That was fun. Good times. This is the spot to come to, and I'll probably continue coming here over the next few months until spring, and into spring, through spring, whatever. This is a good spot. I heard a lot more birds than I saw, but I still saw a good amount. Crows and magpies, like I did last time. I don't think I saw the Steller's jay this time, but what I did see were chickadees and something, maybe a chickadee. I couldn't tell. That one was real quick to appear and disappear. That was the first one I saw that I did not really get a good chance to see. It was around for a minute. There we go. Monitor brightness. I'm just going to jump in here because I watched for the next few minutes, and at no point does Michael think to throw it to me. So we're going to start looking through all the photos. Let's begin, shall we? The first bird Michael saw and was talking about and then got immediately distracted, which definitely happens, is this one. Up in the treetops, flitting around back and forth, one of these, which I have successfully identified at this point, but here it is. It kind of looked around. This is where I was able to get a little bit closer. Probably identify it at this point, but there we go. You can start to see a bit more of it. This is the white-breasted nuthatch, because it's got the big white all around the face and the breast, and you can also tell with the coloring on the almost said the leaves, the feathers on the wings, and then especially there's brown on the rump, which helped me identify it as well. Here it looks very pretty. There's the brown on the rump, like I said. So this is a new one. Not seen this one before. Really cool. Well, this is a crow that I took a picture of as it was flying over. We're just going in order of what I saw, which is definitely the best way to do it, but this is what, seeing it off the side of the tree made me think, oh, woodpecker, and it is kind of like pecking into the tree, but in actuality it is looking for bugs. I mean, it is pecking into the tree. It's not a woodpecker. It's a nuthatch. But there it is along there. And there it is. With the branches more in focus than the actual bird, which happens, but still, a new bird. White-breasted nuthatch. Good stuff. Just a photo of the snow that I took, because I thought that was interesting. At a certain point, I got further away, and the crow came back. There were several crows throughout this entire day, but specifically here, you can see one up in the trees. And got a little closer while it was doing its crow thing. I don't think there is a bird in this photo. Well, actually, technically, behind all the trees, it was probably a crow that had gone soaring and then, like, back behind the trees. But it's, you know, it's a pretty tree. And yeah, here, the next one kind of follows that up. The crow is indeed flying over the snowy landscape behind, which is interesting. I didn't notice at the time, but looking at all the tracks there, I wonder, some of those probably are deer. There's definitely deer in this area. I have not seen any, but I've seen the tracks up close. So I imagine those that are probably more spaced out going up are deer tracks going up the mountains in the distance. But I am curious about that one that's kind of more solid all the way through, where something was not able to go up and over the snow, but more through it. I don't know what that would be. Maybe a human. It's kind of an awkward pattern back and forth. Anyway. More crows in flight. Very cool. Here we go. This is something that Michael did mention. You actually can see two birds in this photograph. If you look here and here. One of those is in the middle of a shakedown. I don't know what else to call it. But yeah, here we go. We can start to see it a little bit more. And there it is. Now, as I started looking in the bird book, my first thought, oh, chickadee. I recognized the general shape and color of a chickadee. Probably the mountain chickadee. It is not. The mountain chickadee has more of a white stripe above. It's got like the head of this one is all black, whereas the mountain chickadee has a black stripe and then white above it as well. This is actually just the black-capped chickadee, and you can see for sure here because it was on a branch where its head was kind of, the top of its head was facing me and the lens. Yeah. So I got some pictures of that back and forth as they're very quick. Ooh, are they quick, back and forth and around. This one's a nice one. They're all upwards, unfortunately. It's not the most ideal angle that I'd like. I would like it if they were down on the ground, so I'm not pointing the camera more upwards, trying to get them up in the tops of trees, but we get what we get. And there's a nice one where you can see it on the branch there. And there it is, kind of sitting. More crow. Crow in flight. Really cool to see how the wings spread out. Again, same kind of thing. Neat. This was the magpie that I saw right towards the end as I was getting ready to leave. There was a mountain in the distance, so I zoomed as far in as I could and kind of tracked it over, and so you could see the snowy landscape. It's mostly, otherwise it would just be a blue background, which is kind of boring, so. And one last one of a crow. This is where I was sitting in the car. I record for a little while doing all the videos and things like that, but specifically, Michael is sitting in the car, I should say. As we are two different entities, I've decided. Which is not at all mentally confusing to keep track of, but anyway. As Michael sits in the car to record the end of the wildlife vlog, personal vlog, any audio, whatever it may be, this magpie is flying back and forth, landing on the fence that's right there. Got a nice zoomed in shot. And then again. Here it is looking the other way, and you can actually see it's that inner membrane eyelid. There's a term for that. I should look that up. I was close. I remembered part of it. It's referred to as the nictating membrane. It's closed here. Magpie takes off. It lands on the other side of the car. So basically, Michael's just leaning out one window or the other with the camera taking pictures of this magpie. So it lands on the snow there, get a couple pictures. Yeah, look at that. Back onto the fence. And takes off. Cool. So now let's go ahead and join Michael back in the car, where he is fiddling with a camera for several minutes to try to fix the settings. Viewfinder brightness. Look at the viewfinder while setting the brightness of the viewfinder. Okay. I would like to. But you went away as soon as I... Oh, okay, there we go. Brightness setup, auto, manual. Nope. There we go. Set it to bright. Thank you. Finder color temperature. Okay, that's nice. Yeah, let's take that down. Display quality, high. Finder frame rate, high. So they call that the finder. Monitor brightness. Look at the monitor. Turn that up. I know I'm going to drain my batteries. Selector, auto. I understand. Okay, stop. TCUB display setting. What? Auto review I did turn off because I don't have time for that. I don't know what counter... TC/UB display setting. I can put it to counter, I can put it to TC, I can put it to UBIT. I don't know what that means. I don't notice a difference. I don't notice a difference. Let's set it to TC. Alright, well, I'll have to look at... Wait, is it that? Counter. Nope. UBIT. Nope. Is it there? I don't know. Alright, I did what I wanted to do. I had trouble while I was out there seeing stuff because of the brightness of the viewfinder. so I just turned that up. Even though it's going to drain batteries faster, I've got extra batteries for that. Is what it is. Batteries drain so quickly anyway. This camera that I took with me, 100% charged before we left today. I recorded for, I don't even think, 2 minutes this morning. Took it out there for three hours, but probably within the first hour and a half, because it was about 3 hours in total, full walking distance. And when I got towards then, I pulled it out and I was like, 27%, that's not a lot. And I recorded a quick little, all I'm doing is pulling it out and showing the scenery. And I do that for 30 seconds and it basically shows the battery's empty. So I immediately started plugging it into charge. It's just the cold. The cold kills batteries very quickly. What are you going to do? Wait for spring? I look forward to not needing to be in quite so many layers. I look forward to it not being waist deep snow that I'm trudging through. It wears me down. It is honestly annoying when I put my foot down on somewhere that I expect to be able to stand because I see other people and then I slip or I shift my weight the wrong way. Winter is fun. I like the winter, but I'm looking forward to spring for sure. But anyway, a good time out. I'm glad I did it. I saw some good stuff. I'll just say this because I don't want to say too much. It's not a spoiler or anything. I hope to return to doing more video next week. I basically just did still photos today, and I didn't really plan to do any video because although I brought a tripod as opposed to a monopod, with the head on there and everything, and I got to the point where I was going to load it up, and I was like, I don't want to put that much weight on there to add all the audio stuff to it. But I redid the audio. I have a problem with the audio. I'll say this. The reason I haven't been doing that much video is because I want video and audio together, obviously. Audio is 50% of video. If you don't have it, it's not quite as good. So I want to be able to do that. I can do that with this camera. I've got other cameras I could be bringing that are even bigger and bulkier, but specifically I like this. I'm enjoying this in the lens, and I want to give it a full, give it the time it deserves. I don't know. I'm just choosing this one right now. I don't really have a good reason why, but specifically I'm taking that out and I'm doing that. It can do video just fine. I like doing that with the video. It's nice and easy. It's smaller, so it's easier to move around. I'm still working out some kinks with it, learning the systems, setting it to different modes and things like that. But to have the audio with it, I have to put on, the recorder and the shotgun mic and everything, and it kind of weighs it down a bit. So it doesn't always work with all of the tripod heads that I have because they're not meant for that much weight. But the real big problem, as I just talked about, is the batteries. Putting the AA rechargeable batteries that I use in my audio recorder, it just drains them like that. Like I put in brand new fresh batteries and they're just gone. And it's like that for everything. I like those batteries. Those batteries last a real long time in other things, the brand that I get and everything, but I don't want to just burn through non-rechargeable ones that I think I can get better performance and longevity out of. I have not tested that because it's just not interesting. I can't be burning through that much money buying disposable batteries over and over and over. I like the rechargeable ones so I can take them home. Everything that I try to use has rechargeable batteries for that reason, but it's just too much. And I had so many problems with the audio recorder that I use for the same reason. If that comes into frame, I can't tell. The little audio recorder that I now have is a love so that I can have better audio for what I'm doing when I'm talking and things. I put AAAs in that and they're just gone. It won't even turn on sometimes because they're like, it's not enough. And it's like, I just freshly charged these. So the solution to that, I plug everything into battery banks. This is currently plugged into this nice 10,000 milliamp, I think. Where is it? Sorry, no. The 10,000 is the other one that I have. This is a 20,100, whatever. 20,000 milliamps. It lasts a long time. I don't have to charge these every single time I go out. Because I don't use that much charge. This thing has now been charging for like 2 hours, I'm guessing. It still shows full over here. It's up to 84% right now that's on there. I just plugged my audio recorder into one of them and I just leave it. So battery banks, they're just better. They last longer. Even with the cold draining them faster, I get more than enough time out, like doing everything that I need to with that. So I put the audio recorder into a battery bank is what I'm getting at. I lost the train of thought entirely. Somebody pulled up next to me, and that distracted me, and then they were doing a whole thing with their young child and tiny, cute little dog, getting all ready. Anyway, what I was talking about was the audio setup in order to record with the video, because the batteries drain so quickly. A battery bank. So I did a whole thing yesterday where I was adding, basically so it can be easily on and off, a whole grip, so I can hold it when I'm shooting anyway. And then on top of the grip, I've got the audio recorder and a battery bank and my shotgun mic, and then I can run the cables and the whole thing. And I can pull it off when I just want to do still photos, or when I'm out doing video, I can capture the audio as well. It's useful for that. I don't have to do it all that way, but that is what I'm doing. It's easier to do that than I can separate audio recorder or just straight into the camera. Doesn't always sound good because the camera's preamps are kind of garbage. All cameras that it's just easier to record it separately, and then I have an audio recording separate, and especially if I can get one where I can separate the tracks, it's really nice. So I did see some birds. It was a good time. Glad that I came out and went around. I enjoyed all of that. There's more people causing me more distraction, making me lose my train of thought. Anyway, we'll see what comes out of the photos. Mostly everything stayed up in the trees, so it wasn't exactly eye level ideal, and I did the best that I could, but I was glad, and I'll come back out again, maybe again this weekend, because the weather will be nice. We'll see what happens, or next weekend. But yeah, good times. Good to be back. I say that like it's been a month, but I still have been doing other things. Anyway, I forgot to mention just how cold it was out there. This is the neck warmer that I wear to keep my neck and face warm. And it was so cold that my breath on it, because I pull it up and down depending on how warm it is or how cold it is, but the breath on it over and over got it wet enough that it froze and pinched it closed. It's pretty cold out today. The car, when I got back in, said 17 degrees. On the drive here, it said negative 24. That's really cold. Really, really